what to watch for. It's Monday, but it's time for an early look at the Chiefs 49ers game. What are some big things that really stand out? Three things really stand out to me. All right. One, this offensive line was not great against Seattle, but you know who was good against Seattle? Was Dominic Purdy. And Dominic Purdy is the one guy who wasn't there last year to try and help on Chris Jones. What happened in the Super Bowl on third down in the red zone with a chance to, take the lead? It was Spencer Burford as part of a right guard rotation, ad-libbing, making a mistake, and letting Chris Jones come unblocked up the middle. So it's not just about the physical. It's also about the mental test that Dominic Purdy is going to have. But he played well last week. Last week remember, we went through the beginning of the year. There's a lot of games where the Niners are going to play really good interior pass rushers. No one else is Chris Jones, but other guys like Chris Jones. And one of the teams on that list is Seattle with Jaron Reed and Leonard Williams, right? Those are two of the top interior pass rushers in the league. Those are like two top 15 guys. And Dominic Purdy played excellent football last week against a good interior rush. So number one, it's not just about tonight. It's about this week. It's also about a potential rematch, but it's also about the other teams you play, understanding how critical that spot is in big games against some of the best teams. So Dominic Purdy getting a taste of Chris Jones. There's no more Aaron Donald. So we get to see Purdy against Chris Jones. And that's it. That's on the list of what to watch for. Maybe number three. Maybe I'll go in descending order. I think number two, it's Aiyuk. Like, can Brandon Aiyuk get open and make plays? L'Jarius Sneed is gone. Trent McDuffie's one of the best corners in the league. Jalen Watson, another very good corner. They have a very good cornerback combo. He was not productive in the Super Bowl. He was productive last Sunday against Arizona. Really productive breakout game. Did not break out again on Thursday night, but made a couple of big plays. And the thing I think about when I think about the Chiefs and the Niners is not just Aiyuk, whether or not he's getting open and making plays, but Aiyuk being really frustrated. Aiyuk doesn't slam his helmet, throw stuff the way DK Metcalf does, scream at people on the sideline the way DK Metcalf does. As it happens in the four quarters, it's much more internal for him. But think about what happened after that Super Bowl. It was clear, and you talk to people around the 49ers as well. Brandon Aiyuk was really, really, really distraught. He felt like he wasn't able to contribute in the way that he should. You think about the end of the season farewell press conference. He's wearing the sunglasses. He's in tears. Maybe he thinks he's gone. And, I think it's clear that Aiyuk feels like if he had gotten the ball more, they would have won the Super Bowl. Hey guys, quick moment to tell you that this video is sponsored by my friends at PrizePicks. Use the code GUY when you sign up. Make a $5 lineup, and whether you win or lose, you immediately get $50 into your account. Here's a lineup I made for this weekend. I love playing PrizePicks. I play like that. It's just make a lineup of two players or more. It's so quick. It's fun. I love having multiple lineups going, especially on a Thursday, a Sunday, a Saturday, a Monday. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey, college or NFL. I love going NFL. And here's what I got. I've got Brandon Aiyuk more than 59.5 receiving yards. Big revenge game from the Super Bowl for him. I got Mahomes less than 248.5 passing yards. And I got Brian Flores holding Jared Goff to less than 253.5 passing yards in the Lions-Vikings game on Sunday. Go check it out. PrizePicks, code GUY. Appreciate you supporting the show. Now back to the video. When it hits the fan, what do the Niners do? They turn to Debo. They don't turn to Aiyuk when things are falling apart. And he wants to be the guy that they turn to. He wants to be the guy that can go make a play. And he took a lot of shit in the offseason. Forget about the holdout stuff. Debo did too. Those two guys have taken a lot of flack, a ton, probably as much criticism as they've taken in their careers for the Super Bowl, because people looked at those two guys and said, you're not good enough to get open when it's championship nut cutting time. Steve Spagnuolo and his guys locked you down. It cost your team the Super Bowl. Your defense played well against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. They did enough to win. Steve Wilkes on his way out the door. His bags are packed for him. He's catching a different flight home, and they played pretty well. But you guys, this is what it felt like to them, I'm sure. Like, you guys, Brock Purdy was good enough. Nick Bosa was good enough. You guys didn't get it. You're the big money guys, right? And Debo's heard it since he signed his contract. And now Aiyuk's been hearing it. But it's not new to his contract. It goes back to the Super Bowl. And I think like any elite performer, anybody who thinks they're a championship level performer, not just athletes, just everybody in general, there's nothing you can say to me that I won't already say to myself. There's no nitpick you can give me that I'm not aware of when I watch the tape of myself, right? And I think Aiyuk's assessment of that Super Bowl was, I should have got the ball more. Kyle, you should have got me open more. Brock, you should have found me more. And I'm not saying he is saying that or he's being disruptive, but I think that's how he feels. Well, okay, here we go. Did he perform against the Rams early in the year? You're paid for this opponent, right? You're paid for you got paid despite the fact that you didn't light up the Super Bowl, but you got paid like a top receiver. So, like, this is a huge game for Brandon Aiyuk. Somebody asked, I saw in the chat earlier, are they still in the mix if they lose this game? Yeah, I mean, the NFC math says yes. The NFC math says yes. It's not going to feel good to be 3-4 though. But so that's the first thing. As I said on Sunday, this is a math conference. This is a math season this year, meaning win your division, however it looks, get a home game in the first round of the playoffs, go play some team that you feel like you can beat in round 2. I mean, there is nobody right now in the NFC that you don't think you can go on the road and beat, and get yourself in the dance with a little bit of time to either play at home. The thing's just wide open. So I say that's just a response to what is lost if you lose to Kansas City. It's not ideal, but it's a much longer math problem this year in the NFC. So that's thing number 2. And then thing number 3 is the obvious. It's the best one. This is what it's all. Football is chess and mixed martial arts together as one sport. It's chess and boxing. And boxing is chess, and mixed martial UFC is chess. But football is high-level chess and high-level hand-to-hand combat. And, Brock Purdy and Steve Spagnuolo, and Spagnuolo gave him credit after the Super Bowl as a hell of a matchup. And Kyle Shanahan did not help a ton, right? They lost their Brian Flores matchup. And they've lost these Steve Spagnuolo matchups. And, you're not avenging the Super Bowl on Sunday, but you are trying to just add a chapter to your quarterback's, experience ledger. And, if it comes down to a tie game with 4 minutes left and you got a shot and Mahomes has a shot, who makes the plays? So it's just another great test. Historically, you had all those regular season games with Peyton Manning and Bill Belichick, and Belichick got the best of him a lot. This is not that. But, if Brock Purdy signs a big contract and is the 49ers quarterback for the next decade, the chances we see these guys playing, several more times is high. Steve Spagnuolo still wants to be a head coach, but he's in a pretty great situation. So it's just a moment. All of these things, especially early in a player's career, are great opportunities to not to prove something, but to learn something about yourself. This is not about proving to me or you or Nick Wright or whoever that you should have him higher in your rankings. This is about proving to yourself what you believe. Like I believe that Brock believes that he can go orchestrate a 2-minute drive down 4 minutes and beat the Chiefs. I believe that Brock believes if he goes toe-to-toe with Steve Spagnuolo 20 times, he'll win more than half of them. That's what he thinks. He'll win every one in his mind, right? So he believes that. But I still think you got to go get the experience of proving it to yourself, of proving it to your coach, of proving it to your teammates. And I think for Shanahan, there's a little bit of this too now. Like Kyle's proven a lot. Kyle's done a lot, but things are not great, not perfect right now, right? They're in good shape because the NFC allows them to be. But what about these moments? What about when you get Brian Flores? What about when you get Steve Spagnuolo? You know, it's one thing to get a 14-point lead and milk the clock and win a game, which they haven't done really this year, but you know what I'm saying. But, can he figure something out? He's still a young coach. Steve Spagnuolo's evolving. Brian Flores is evolving. Ben Johnson is evolving. Kyle Shanahan, still a lot of career left. You hope in 10 years he's a much better coach than he is today. So, part of that evolution is iron sharpens iron, good against good. Kyle Shanahan against Steve Spagnuolo. So those are my big three. I normally that type of thing waits for a Thursday, but not this week. This is too good. This is the big game, the big Fox game.